Sally invited Nick to join her at the society so she could share news of her latest development. After a nervous exchange, Nick spoke briefly about Jordan's outbreak. Nick joked that Jordan has more lives than a cat. Noticing that Sally was hesitant to share her news, Nick assured her that she could talk to her about anything. Sally announced that she would be filling in for Marcides while Chelsea was on vacation. Nick graciously accepted Sally's news and praised that Summer was ready to let bygones be bygones. Sally told Nick that she was doing her best to make her design business a success, and she offered to repay Nick's investment. Nick admitted that some investments had failed and refused Sally's offer to compensate him. Instead, Nick asked that Sally focus her talents and energy on her role at Marchit. Sally told Nick that most exes wouldn't be so generous and kind. Nick replied that he had no anger. Sally noted that Summer let go of her anger, although Summer had the most trouble forgiving the unhappy end of Sally and Nick's romance. Nick assured Sally that he would always be in her corner no matter what. Nick and Sally broke apart as they exchanged a warm hug. Nick visited the Newman Ranch with Victor and told his father he wanted to check everything out. Victor told Nick that Nikki was an outpatient. Nick admitted that he was worried about how hearing Jordan was still alive would affect Nikki. Victor explained that Nikki was sure Jordan was dumped for good. Victor said that Jordan would rot in hell in a facility as strong as Fort Knox. Victor changed the subject and told Nick that he was worried about Adam and Connor. Nick admitted that it was hard for a parent to see their child suffer. Both Nick and Victor agreed that Adam had made great strides in his life. Victor admitted that he was scared that the flashback with Connor might lead Adam back to the darkness. Nick disagreed, saying that Adam has learned to take a step back and listen to reason. Nick gave Sally credit for strengthening Adam. Winter downplayed Sally's role, but praised Nick for creating a strong bond and mutual respect with his brother. In his Paris hotel suite, Tucker instructed his assistant, Haley, to contact the CEOs of all companies operating under the Glissade umbrella and order them to cancel any current or future meetings with Audra Charles. Haley replied, "Shall I give a reason?" Tucker told Haley that she should explain that Mrs. Carlos was no longer in contact with Glissade. Then Tucker stepped out onto the balcony, looked up at the night sky, and said to herself out loud, "Keep playing Audra." After Haley fulfilled her duties, Tucker requested a meeting with the board so she could formally and permanently remove Audra Charles from the board. Tucker stepped onto the balcony again to get some fresh air. In his flashback, Tucker remembered meeting a man on the sidewalk in Paris. The man, who looked a lot like Alan, had spiky hair and wore a black leather jacket. Tucker said, "Hello, Alan. How are you?" The man gave Tucker a blank look before walking away. The memory still haunted Tucker as he returned to his room from the balcony. Tucker laid down in a chair next to Haley and sighed heavily. Haley asked Tucker if he needed anything. Tucker explained that he had previously met a man he knew named Alan who completely ignored him. Tucker explained that the man seemed to lack any appreciation. Tucker told Haley he went for a walk to clear his head. Audra decided to stay at her Paris hotel to meet the CEO. At first thinking about the black dress, Audra said out loud to herself, "No, it looks like I'm going to a funeral." Admiring the black and silver outfit, Audra later remarked, "Not bad. It says, trust me, I'm in charge." Forget about that dead Tucker McCall. Audra cut off Mr. Lemaire, who canceled his date, after receiving a call from Tucker's assistant. After Audra hung up, she said aloud to herself, "I understand what you're going through, Mr. McCall, and if you think you can get away with it, you've underestimated me again." After more calls, Audra realized that every scheduled appointment had been canceled. Audra informed one CEO that due to a terrible scandal at Tucker McCall's previous company, she would soon resign as CEO of Glissade and hire the next CEO. When Audra hung up, her phone rang. Sally announced that she is Marchetti's new creative director, adding that it is a temporary role. Audra said she was excited for Sally. Audra assured Sally that Tucker tried to get her out of the company, although he never gave her the satisfaction of quitting. Sally replied that Audra didn't tell her what happened to Tucker. Audra stated that her relationship with Tucker was over and explained that she was the only one who met with company executives, although Tucker remained in the background. Audra yelled that Tucker was coming for her. Tucker waited for the elevator in the hallway of his hotel.